What's up? This is your Sleuthing Soul, and I help relatives and sisters and brothers from other mothers discover their familial roots and learn more about themselves and myself in the process. Understanding cousin relationships. My concept of family as a child was my parents, brothers and sisters, and their kids, my first cousins, most of whom I spent a lot of time with at our grandparents' house, went to summer camp with, traveled to Disney World together, even a few cousins who attended the same school with me at some point. During a recent visit, my first cousins and I were sharing childhood memories, and I told a story about when I first learned that an elderly woman at our church was family. My mother mentioned it one time in passing without much explanation. It didn't help matters that my mom also referred to one of her old co-worker friends as my aunt, which would make her kids my cousins, but we haven't seen or spoken to each other in years. At any rate, I still wondered, how was the older woman related to me? It turns out that this woman, whose name is Annie, is my grandfather's first cousin. Let me explain. My grandfather, we'll call him James, is related to Annie by way of his father Stephen. Stephen's sister Florence was Annie's mother. Since Stephen and Florence are siblings, that's how my grandfather James and Annie are first cousins. And if you look at this cousin chart right here, you'll see how Annie would be related to me. She is my first cousin twice removed because there is a 2-generation gap between Annie and me. You'll see on the far right how Annie is from generation 3 and I am on the row associated with generation 5. I mentioned in a previous video how some might not be looking for long-lost cousins. I also realized that there are those who find no use of understanding the proper relationship labels. For them, family is family. No half this and that, relatives once or twice removed, third or fourth cousin to the second power, etc., etc., etc. You may want to check out one of my other videos, but for those who do have a genuine interest, stay tuned as understanding cousin relationships can help relieve some confusion when it comes to your family tree, doing genealogical research, and provide a general understanding of how people relate to you and one another. So let's dig in.
How are we cousins?
We cousins because my cousin, my father and your mother is brother and sister.
Period. All right, little cousin, how are we cousins?
So I was born, and me and I was born, and then you became our cousin.
Right, give me a high five. That's how we cousins. All right, cousin. Okay. How are we cousins?
How are we cousins?
We don't know. How are we cousins?
Oh, well, now. No, that ain't too hard. Let's see. My dad, right, and your grandmother, all right, I believe first cousins.
Oh, you knew. Good job. All right, cousin. How are we cousins?
We are cousins because my great-grandmother and your great-grandmother were sisters.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, cuz. I love you.
Love you.
So how are we cousins?
Oh, you did mess me up. Your grandmother is my grandmother's sister.
Is it true?
Yeah.
I love y'all cousins. So your mama and my grandma are sisters. Love you, cousin. Love you too. Cousin,
Yeah.
how are we cousins?
Now why you gotta do that?
We cousins, alright.
We are cousins.
Love you, cousin.
I like this video because she was able to get younger people involved in understanding how they're related to one another, or at least thinking about it, and it's given me an idea for my next family reunion. I was invited out to dinner a couple weeks ago and met a new cousin. We'll call her T, and she asked me how we're related. Me being me, I'm naturally inclined to start off with something like,
Roydale and Alberstein's grandmother and my grandmother, okay, they were sisters. So that make me and Roydale and Alberstein, okay, that's going first.
you get the point. Fortunately, someone else had a pen and paper, and so I drew out a diagram for my new cousin. It turns out her great-grandfather and my great-grandfather are brothers, which makes us third cousins. Shout out to content creator EJ Speaks and her humorous contribution to the culture with her take on those elder relatives who go here, there, and everywhere when trying to break down the family tree. I'll link her original video in the description. Here are a few exercises to help you better understand cousin relationships. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time figuring it out before the answer is revealed. There are also some sources to family relationship chart guides in this video's description, or you can always search for one on your own. Question 1. What degree of cousins is your first cousin's daughter to you? The answer is first cousin once removed. You and your first cousin each have a parent who are siblings to each other, and there is a 1-generation gap between you and your first cousin's daughter, which makes you first cousins once removed. Question 2. My mother has 5 sisters. One of my mother's sisters, my aunt, has a granddaughter in my son's class at school. What degree of cousins are my son and my aunt's granddaughter? The answer is second cousins. My mother and my aunt are sisters, which makes me and my aunt's child first cousins, making my son and my first cousin's daughter, who is also my aunt's granddaughter, second cousins. In this case, there is no generation gap, so there's nothing removed regarding their relationship to each other. A few videos ago, you may remember the woman who was one of her father's nearly 3 dozen children, and her sister found another sibling through a DNA test. A couple things about being from a city or town where people are 6 degrees of separation from one another is one, if a family or group of families stays in that same area for generations, it's likely for endogamy to occur. It's not just reserved for those royal families intentionally preserving the bloodline, or stereotypes attributed to people in Appalachia, West Bumbleduck, or remote communities. The second thing that plays out is when a person puts their unique spin on the phrase, be fruitful and multiply, and has children raised in different homes. When the family doesn't grow up with each other, it increases the chance down the line that you don't know who you could be dating and procreating with. But what happens when people do know?
Old folk used to say, you can't date him. That's your cousin. I said, no, wait a minute. Everybody in the world in this little bitty town can't be my cousin. But baby, they may be. Because I done found out something. You got 2 parents. You got 4 grandparents. You got 8 great-grandparents. You got 16 great-grandparents. They duplicate every time. So there's a high probability if you live in a small place, baby. So most of them folks is going to be kin to you. You may have been dating your cousin if you live in a little town. You don't even know it because ain't no way you go know. Grandparents that you got. Maybe that's where the term kissing cousins came from. I don't know.
We met in 1999. Our cousin died. Yes, our cousin.
Whoa. Time out. Tell me what you mean by our cousin.
We are third cousins. His paternal grandmother is my maternal great grandmother's sister.
Third cousin sounds far away, but when you say it like your dad's mom is sisters with your mom's grandma, it doesn't sound very far away.
Yes. Based on the research that we've done, we don't share DNA markers because of where we are.
Oh, so you've done your DNA.
So, yeah. I have 6 children from my marriage previously.
I have 2 biological daughters from a marriage a while ago and 3 from the last marriage that I helped raise.
What has been the reaction of your children?
They are outraged, disgusted, angry.
And no one knows that you're engaged.
Right.
You know telling people will threaten the relationship because you're not going to be in your bubble anymore. But that's not going to last forever.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's probably going to last about 1 more hour when you sit these people down and tell them that you are engaged.
Yeah.
Well, that is that. How about some more cousin questions? Yeah. Question 3. Sandy found her relative, Antoine, while researching her family history. They discovered Antoine's great-grandmother and Sandy's great-grandmother are sisters. What degree of cousins are Antoine and Sandy to each other? The answer is third cousins. With Sandy and Antoine's great-grandmothers being sisters, their grandparents would be first cousins to each other, which would make their parents second cousins to each other, and they are third cousins to each other.
Story time about how my friend Allison and I didn't know we were related for almost 2 years. Okay, so we met summer of 2021 down the shore through mutual friends. And you were in...
I had a share house in Manasquan.
Yeah, so she was in the share house in Squan. My family's had a place down the shore for 40 plus years. We met through mutuals and we became friends summer of 2021, stayed friends. Summer of 2022 is when we really became close. Yeah, and I remember one day we were on a boat in F Cove and I said to her, I'm like, I feel like we're more like sisters. We just became so close so quickly. And I usually, it was such a... magnetic. Yeah. And we were just so open with each other too about everything. And after summer of 2022, in January of 2023, my grandfather passed away. And then Nan...
In April.
Her grandmother passed away in April. And in April, after her grandmother passed away, she texted me and said, are you related to blank? And I said, yeah, why? She goes, well, we just got a grievance card from them. And then she called me maybe 20 minutes later and goes, Bridget, we are third cousins.
And it's crazy too, because my grandmother, I knew no family that she had. So this was insane.
Her grandmother and my grandfather, that both passed away 3 months away from each other, were first cousins. They grew up together. They lived together. Her grandmother was at my parents' wedding, and we sent her grandmother Christmas cards. She has Christmas cards of my sister and I from when we were little. And from that moment, we were like, well, no wonder why we became so close so quickly. We're third cousins. We're blood related. And it just brought us, honestly, even closer. So I remember saying to her, I was like, well, do I call you a friend or my cousin? So I already have another cousin, Allison, who's my first cousin. So I call her new cousin Allison. And yeah. And when we told all of our friends and family that we were related, they were like, what are you talking about? Because her last name, my parents would never know because it's a maiden name. Her last name is her dad's name that my family wouldn't recognize. So yeah. We're third cousins, besties, and third cousins for life.
I don't know, man. I feel like having cousins or a good relationship with your cousins is just like having extended siblings. And I say that because the love is similar. It's not the same, but it's similar. You know what I'm saying? Especially if y'all grew up like siblings, or even your second cousins if your parents' cousins got good relationships. And then there's always this love-hate relationship you have with your brothers and sisters, I think, because of the proximity, you know what I mean? Of always being with each other. So of course, naturally, y'all gonna not fall out, but have disagreements, all this, that, and the third. But you don't see your cousins as often as you see your siblings, for real. And it's that love is still strong. I ain't seen my cousin maybe a couple years, and boy, I love hearing, hey, cuzzo, you good? Absolutely. You good? Then let me know.
If you've made it to the end of this video, comment with the hashtag HeyCousins, and be sure to like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with a timestamp so I know what you're referring to. Before I close, I'll leave you with a couple cheat sheets regarding the degree of cousin relationships and what a removed cousin means. Feel free to take a screenshot. Now, for one last cousin relationship question. Your cousin John is a year older than you. Your father and John's grandfather are first cousins because your father's father and John's grandfather's mother are brother and sister. What degree of cousins are you and John to each other? The answer, second cousin once removed. Your father's father, which is your grandfather, and John's grandfather's mother, which is John's great-grandmother, are siblings. We know that your father and John's grandfather are first cousin, so that makes you and one of John's parents second cousins. So while you and John are close in age and are in the same generation chronologically, there is a 1 generation gap between you two in the family tree. Thus, second cousin once removed. Anyway, It's been real. This is your Sleuthing Soul, signing off until the next one.
What's a cousin? A cousin is like a built-in friend, a family member you're connected to by blood, but choose to keep close by heart. They're the companions you grow up with, sharing countless memories, inside jokes, and family traditions. Cousins are the unique blend of friendship and family, offering a special bond that spans both worlds. They're the partners in crime during family gatherings, the confidants in secret conversations, and the constants in the ever-changing landscape of life. Cousins are the ones who understand the quirks of your family dynamics, because they've lived them too. Despite the occasional squabbles or distance, cousins are the ties that bind families together. They are the ones you can count on for both a sympathetic ear and a hearty laugh. In the grand tapestry of family relationships, cousins are the threads that add vibrant colors and make the journey of life a bit more fun. So what's a cousin? They are the family members who make the journey from childhood to adulthood a little more adventurous and a lot more memorable.